All right, so get ready because today we are going to dive into some seriously mind-bending stuff. We're talking faster than light space travel. Not just the theory, no, we're going right to the source. An extraterrestrial being named SEMJC?
Yeah, strap yourselves in for this one. We've got these excerpts from a document, lightspeed.pdf, and it claims to have actual conversations with this SEMJC, who says they know about beam ships, hyperspace even, spiritual teleportation.
Whoa, there's a lot to unpack there.
Okay, so let's just start with these beam ships. SEMJC says they need two propulsion systems, not just one. Two. Why two? How does that even make sense?
Well, that's where things get really wild. It's like this. Imagine one system for, like, I don't know, normal space travel, gets you up to light speed, maybe something like a super advanced fusion drive or something. And then the second system, that's the hyperdrive, punches you through to hyperspace, where space and time, well, they kind of stop acting like we're used to.
Wait, hold on. Hyperspace, isn't that just like straight out of science fiction? What does that even mean? Yeah, it's a concept that's been around, but SEMJC's description, it actually kind of lines up with some of our physics theories today. So picture this. Space and time just collapsing, letting you cross massive distances in, like an instant. It'd be like taking a shortcut through the fabric of the universe.
So you're telling me, like, I could go to Andromeda for lunch and be back in time for dinner?
Well, not so fast. SEMJC warns about jumping into hyperspace too close to planets. Seems like the energy from it could really mess with a planet's gravity. Maybe even cause some big cosmic issues.
Okay, so hyperspace jumps, you got to be careful. No popping in and out wherever you feel like. SEMJC actually mentions this specific safety distance, 153 million kilometers. That's a lot of space. But what about when you're traveling at those speeds, like inside a planet's atmosphere? Wouldn't the friction just, I don't know, turn the ship into a shooting star?
Ah, that's where those radiation protection shields come in. So SEMJC says they deflect air currents and particles, so a beam ship can move crazy fast in an atmosphere and it doesn't burn up.
Oh, so it's like having a personal force field that just pushes the air out of the way.
Yeah, something like that.
And get this, apparently these shields don't just protect against friction, they can also neutralize a planet's gravitational pull. So the beam ship, it's like its own little independent world, no gravity.
That's how it seems, yeah. Which raises some pretty big questions, right? Like, how do you even create that kind of field? How do you control it? We're talking some seriously advanced tech here.
Well, speaking of tech, any hints on how we might catch up to these beam ship building aliens?
Actually, SEMJC suggests we're kind of on the right track, especially with the research into light emission drives and tachyon drives. So light emission, that could be our ticket to reaching the speed of light.
Yeah.
And then tachyon drives, those use particles that theoretically travel faster than light. Maybe that's the key to breaking that barrier, getting into hyperspace.
So those sci-fi ideas we've been thinking about, they might actually be possible.
Maybe, yeah. But there's a catch, a big one. SEMJC is really clear about this. Humanity needs to evolve, consciously and spiritually, before we can handle this tech safely. Think about it. We can barely manage things on our own planet. How could we be trusted with the power to mess with space and time? Something to think about.
Okay, so we need to get our act together before we start joyriding through hyperspace. I got it. But wait, we haven't even touched spiritual teleportation. That's a whole other level of crazy.
Right. SEMJC describes it as a transmission method. You use pure consciousness to dematerialize and rematerialize people and objects. We're talking teleporting with your mind.
Are you ready to go down that rabbit hole?
Let's do it.
Okay, so spiritual teleportation, it sounds kind of like, I don't know, something out of a superhero movie. Like you just think real hard about where you want to go and poof, you're there.
Oh, if only it were that simple. SEMJC explains that it actually takes a ton of spiritual energy, often way more than like one person can handle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's more about, tapping into this like collective consciousness.
Yeah.
They call it a spiritual we block.
Yeah.
It's where like multiple people combine their energy. They can get that power level they need.
A spiritual we block, so like a mind meld, but for teleporting.
Whoa.
That's pretty wild. But if it's so powerful, why haven't the Pleiadians mastered it? I mean, they seem pretty advanced with all the beam ship tech.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even with all that advanced tech, they still haven't figured out spiritual teleportation. SEMJC even mentions this other race, the Sonair. They supposedly live in a neighboring universe. And they've totally perfected this ability.
A neighboring universe. It makes you wonder, like, what else is out there? What other beings, what other crazy tech?
For sure.
Okay, so the Sonair, they're like teleporting between universes with their minds. But what does that even look like? Do they, like, step into a booth like in Star Trek or something?
Actually, according to Semjase, there's no physical device at all.
Yeah.
Nope, it's all about transforming your body into pure energy, like an immaterial energy package or something like that.
Okay.
And then transmitting that through higher dimensional space, maybe even hyperspace itself.
Whoa.
And on the other side, you just rematerialize.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me they break down their bodies into energy, beam it across the cosmos, and then just put it all back together? What if something goes wrong during the reassembly part?
Well, it does kind of make you think about the logistics of it all.
Yeah.
But Semjase says the rematerialization process, it's automatic.
Automatic.
Yeah, you don't have to like consciously think about putting your molecules back in the right place. It just happens.
So it's like there's some kind of blueprint, like a fundamental law of the universe that just makes it work.
Yeah, kind of like that.
That's both fascinating and terrifying. But, if the Pleiadians haven't mastered it, what's holding them back? I mean, they seem to get consciousness and energy manipulation.
It seems like there's like a specific know-how involved, a certain technique or something, like how to direct that energy specifically for teleportation. It'd be like having all the ingredients for a recipe, but not knowing the right amounts or the cook times.
Yeah.
You might end up with a mess instead of a masterpiece.
Okay, so it's not just about raw power, it's about control. Precision, I get it. But with all this talk about beam ships and hyperspace and, teleporting with your mind, it seems like, I don't know, science fiction is becoming science fact. What does all this mean for us here on Earth? Okay, so we've gone through beam ships, hyperspace, even this mind-blowing idea of spiritual teleportation. I mean, it's a lot to take in, but let's try and bring it back down to Earth for a second. If any of these concepts are actually possible, I mean, what do they even mean for us, for the future of humanity?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? It's like, looking at a map of uncharted territory, we've got these little glimpses of what could be, but it's still mostly a mystery.
Let's start with beam ships and hyperspace then. Like, imagine we figure it out, build our own, interstellar spaceships. What would that do for space exploration?
Oh, it would completely change everything.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. We could reach distant stars, explore other galaxies, places that are just way beyond us right now. Who knows what we'd find out there?
Yeah, like new life, new planets, maybe even like new laws of physics.
Exactly. It'd be like the ultimate frontier.
A cosmic playground just waiting to be explored.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, but let's not get too carried away. I mean, we talked about those dangers, right? Hyperspace jumps near a planet, that's not good. What other like unexpected problems might we run into?
Oh, that's a huge point. I mean, we're talking about messing with space and time, forces we barely understand. What happens to our bodies when we travel faster than light? Are there long-term effects to like going through hyperspace? And then there's the ethical side of things too. I mean, are we ready to meet other intelligent life that might be even more advanced than us?
Yeah, it's like sailing into this unknown ocean. There's so much potential for amazing discovery, but we might also hit some storms we're just not ready for.
Right.
And then there's spiritual teleportation. If that's even remotely real. I mean, the possibilities are just mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, imagine like a world where everyone can just teleport.
Wow.
What happens to like transportation, that borders between countries, even our sense of privacy and security. And think about it on a deeper level, how does it change how we see ourselves? Yeah. What it means to be human, to have a body, to exist in a certain time and place.
It's almost too much to even think about.
I know, right?
Like it's like we're standing on the edge of this cliff looking out at this huge unknown landscape. Exciting, but kind of terrifying too.
But remember, Semjase really stressed that conscious and spiritual evolution thing. So maybe, as we evolve, as we learn to use our inner potential and act with more wisdom, more compassion, maybe then we'll be ready to handle these new things responsibly. It's not just about the tech. It's about growing as people, expanding our consciousness right alongside our knowledge of the universe.
So it's not just about building faster spaceships or figuring out how to teleport. It's about becoming better, about realizing that the real journey of discovery, it's not just out there in the stars, it's inside each of us too.
Absolutely. The potential is definitely there. I mean, the possibilities are just incredible. But it all comes down to us. Will we use these abilities to explore, to connect, to understand the universe and ourselves better? Or will we, just repeat the mistakes we've made? But on a cosmic scale, That's something worth thinking about, I think.
It really is. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, I hope everyone listening is feeling a little bit of that wonder, a spark of curiosity, and a new appreciation for all the mysteries that are still out there. Who knows what incredible adventures are waiting for us in this vast, ever expanding universe? Keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and never stop reaching for the stars.